Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday Leads Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have games away against Schalke in the Bundesliga, and we'll follow it up with the game away against Sevilla in the Champions League. As you can see just above me, we're currently sat in 4th place. In terms of league form, we've not been too bad. We did drop points against Freiburg. We managed a 1-1 draw though, in a game that we actually dominated. They had one shot on target, which was a penalty, and throughout the rest of the game, we just battered them, but we couldn't continue to have that finishing touch. But aside of that, we've done pretty well, in all honesty. Um, we had a couple of friendlies after the Leipzig game because we had a 3-week break internationally. We came back, had a good 2-0 win at home against Stuttgart. As you can see, we drew 1-1 away there at Freiburg. We had a 1-1 draw at home against Paris Saint-Germain thanks to a very late equaliser by Cosmin Mania. And we followed it up with a 3-0 win at home against Bochum and a 2-0 win away against Mainz in the second round of the Pokal. We've actually been drawn away again in the Pokal against Paderborn, who are, I believe, in the Bundesliga too. So that will probably end up being in and around where the next episode will be. We'll probably give it a miss though. It will probably be Hoffenheim and Bilbao potentially for the episode tomorrow. So going into today, form continues to be pretty good. We're unbeaten, including the friendlies, in what 8 matches. Obviously, in terms of the Bundesliga, we're doing pretty well again in relation to our form. We haven't lost since our opening 2 games of the season in the Bundesliga. So 7 games without defeat. Hopefully that will continue today going into this match. We're trying desperately to rotate as well. Obviously, with the injuries that we've had, it is still a bit of a problem. Chavlina is fully fit again, though, which is good to see. But again, where the midfield is concerned, I mean, I'm not sure why Eamon Carey and Katala aren't playing today. Probably because we have got that European tie against Sevilla coming up. um, we do we I mean the assistant manager was going to switch it around potentially, but we will go for as strong a squad as possible. Obviously, I'm not with the way it's going. I don't really want us to qualify for the Champions League again because I don't think we're good enough. But at the same time, we need to keep that level of consistency, especially where financial benefits are concerned. The board did increase our wage budget a little bit, so we have got a little bit of room to work in the coming transfer window in January. But again, for the time being, we're going to have to just stick. We have agreed a loan deal for a right winger come striker from Bayern Munich until the end of the season. That will go through on the 1st of January just to give us that extra bit of cover on that right hand side as well as up front. He's not necessarily good enough to start games, but he is a pretty good looking player. So he's worth around 50, 60 million pounds. So the fact that we've managed to get him on loan, I think, will be a good deal for us. So far, not really a lot to speak of from either side. We've had a couple of yellow cards with Fran Garcia and Catala, which is a bit unfortunate. Opicic, they're trying to get the ball in. Garcia, Catala, Opicic, and it's bundling about in the penalty area. Eamon Carey does get the strike in the end, and it's a good save from the keeper. I tell you what, considering the circumstances that we had at Karlsruhe with Eamon Carey and one or two others, I'm really impressed with how he's done. He really has settled into the side and really set up his position in this midfield. He's quite irreplaceable for us as it stands, and hopefully he will continue to do that. He's been a very useful signing since we brought him in from our former club. Still 0-0. We've been the better side, but again, we just seem to be lacking. Kitenga has picked up an injury, so we will have to make that change here. It's not showing that he's got a major injury, but he is struggling for fitness anyway because of that knock. Um, so we're going to get Kwanzaa on for him, I think, in at right back. The yellow cards will leave it be for now, but again, we might have to make the changes just so that we can have full commitment from the players as the game goes on. Frangashi is still unhappy. We are trying to appease him, but at the moment it's just not happening. And is proving to be a bit of a difficult situation that we find ourselves in with him. We're going to demand more from the side. I feel that we're in a position where we could be doing a lot more, to be fair. and we are going to make a couple more changes. Chavlina again, really struggling for his fitness at the moment. Katala's struggling for fitness, so Ornella, to be fair, we'll bring Dagan Hart on for him. Kone can come off for Ornelas, and we'll get Martins on at left back for Fran Garcia. That'll be all of our changes today, and hopefully we can find a way of getting a goal. Like I say, we have done quite well today, but it's just not quite happening. Stupar here with the corner, though. Swings it in toward the near post. Shearodia with the header toward the far post, and Vellenreuter comfortably making the claim in the end as he looks to deliver forward. It's not the end of the highlight either, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful as Yaro Kwanzaa picks up possession. Lays it across to goalkeeper Hine. Now Shearodia. Degenhardt in the midfield. He actually scored his first league goal for us, Degenhardt, not long ago as well, which was good to see. He's gradually working his way into the side, but he's not really got that necessary quality. But he's frustrating me really because he's playing well enough when he does play to keep him in mind. Stupar there with a good effort, just wide of the post. And we're going to go very attacking here. We need the 3 points today, to be quite honest. And we're going to demand more from the team, and hopefully we can find a way of getting a winner right at the end here, but it's not looking likely. Schalke haven't had a single shot on target, and despite 14 attempts at goal, we've only had 4 attempts on target ourselves. And again, we found ourselves lacking up front, and it's not good enough. I mean, we've got the quality up front with all of our attacking players. I feel that we should be doing better. Schalke are bottom of the table as well. The fact that we've drawn with them is not a good result at all. Leverkusen could go ahead of us in the league, but we are pretty secure in that top 4 at the moment. But Dortmund and Bayern, of course, they could extend a bit of a gap over us now if they should win their games in hand. We've actually only got a couple of days until the Sevilla game. I would normally just break away from it, but considering the lack of time between the 2 matches, I'll just crack on, and we'll have a bit of a mini stream in the process. Like I say, overall, it's not we're doing all right. We've got to remember that we are doing okay. Dortmund won their game in hand, so we're 3 points behind them now, but it could be 5 points behind Bayern, and this is something I've been a bit concerned about. Chavlina wants to play in a stronger team, and Liverpool have really been putting the pressure on. And I don't really know what to say now, to be honest. He wants to win league titles, and I can see that. I mean, I can completely understand it. We're not in a position to win league titles, unfortunately, but um, I don't want to sell him. This is the biggest problem we've got. He's on a £95 million release clause, and we're going to have to agree to sell him. That isn't something that I wanted to be doing today, of course, but let alone in an episode. But it's come through, and obviously we have to act accordingly. And now he wants to leave, so we're in a bit of a rough position. Yes, we can get good money for these players, but at the same time, to replace players of that quality is going to be extremely tough. And we're in a position, especially with the transfer revenue. I know I've mentioned it before. It's only sat at 55%. I've tried to increase it. It's not happening. Obviously, we've got November and December to get through before the transfer window even opens. But, you know, we've got a lot to think about. If because Opacic is still wanting to leave as well, even though we've signed Stupar, who's another Serbian, and it's just ending up being one thing after another at the minute, and it's not looking particularly great. I mean, Fran Garcia is still unhappy as well for not strengthening at centre back, but we've had other areas where we need to sort out. So going to be a very tough January transfer window, I think, because Kone wants to leave as well, potentially for Saudi Arabia because of the amount of money that they can offer him in wages. So, but we'll have to stick that on the back burner and have a think. And we go into today's game against Sevilla, hoping that we can get some kind of a result, really. Um, if we lose the likes of Chavlina and Kone, we could be in for a very tough rest of the season. But hopefully, in the meantime, they will have full commitment to the club, and we can find a way of getting through everything. So with this game against Sevilla, yeah, I think we're capable of getting a good result today. A draw isn't enough. It'd be nice if we could get a win, but a draw is a good result away against Sevilla, really. But a win is what we require. Um, After drawing 1-1 though against Paris Saint-Germain, I'm reasonably hopeful that we can get a good result today. So it's just going to be a case of wait and see. But of course, we were quite poor going forward in the game against Schalke. Hopefully that will correct itself today. Opicic here with a corner, swinging it in. It's headed away on his first Katenga, and now Katala into Cosmin Mania, and it's his sixth of the campaign. He's done quite well, to be fair, the Romanian. He started off quickly, had a really quiet spell, but now he's just starting to build his consistency a little bit. So we've got the option up front, at least, with the likes of Stupar and Mania, but right wing, we definitely need to strengthen. And should Chavlina and Kone both go, central midfield and right wing are definitely something we need to have a look at. Opicic as well could end up leaving, like I say. So there's a lot that we need to consider. We need direct replacements for the players that are going to leave, as well as potentially adding on into that right wing position. And then obviously at centre back, we could potentially do with a more experienced player in there. I have got players in mind. It's just a case of whether they will sign or not, and for reasonable wages. So far so good. Half time here. We're sat at 1-0. Sevilla have just had the one attempt at goal, which was on target, mine. But for Sevilla at home, this is a very poor performance. Also, I'm not too sure what's going on with the game itself. Um, for some reason, we are getting attendances for matches because I've double checked it, but the fans don't seem to show at the moment in any games, and I'm not too sure why that is. But we'll just have to roll with it, won't we? Potential penalty here. Mania brought down. Penalty has been awarded. Big opportunity here. Opicic to take. And Opicic fires it into the roof of the net. It's a good finish, and it's only his second of the season. He's had a slow start to the season, probably because he isn't at his happiest at the club at the moment. But he's been like that since we signed him as well. So it's a very difficult situation for him as well, which is a bit of a shame. But we are going to have to make some very tough decisions come January for sure. We started 2-0 though, 35 minutes to go. Goes on here to Jimenez, and it's very, very poor defensively from us. It's a lovely finish from George Jimenez. He hit it superbly, but we didn't get out to him at all quick enough there. And they immediately pull a goal back with just their second attempt at goal. We've dominated proceedings today, and I just hope that we can continue in that manner. Shirodi are doing well to win that header. Dragusin into Rodriguez. Trying to keep the pressure on. It's back with Dragusin. Plays it into Rodriguez again, and now the space down this right-hand side. Can we get an interception? Stoliarchuk into Nieto. Now Gerson. Stoliarchuk in behind, and it's a good effort, but it's over the crossbar. And again, we're dominating games, and we just seem to let them have these opportunities, and it just goes against us. Manu Kone, great running from him to even get to that. And Katenga picks it up on this right-hand side, finds Chavlina, who is struggling a bit for fitness as well. That's a nice flick back into Katenga, and that time, though, it's a poor pass. Chavlina does well to win possession again, though, and now Cosmin Mania into Kone, now Eamon Carey. Katenga's made the run. It's a really good run as well. He squares it for Mania, and I don't know if Mania was onside there. There's not even a question of offside, so he must have been fine. 3-1, and we finally restore our two-goal advantage. Deservedly so, I might add. We are going to make some changes as well following that goal. Because, like I say, we're struggling so much for fitness. I think, to be honest, we do need a bit of a bigger squad with the quality. Um, but then we run the risk of players being unhappy. But you can see we've got 7, 8 players out there at the moment that are really struggling, and it's just not feasible to keep everything rotated at the moment. Um, I mean, Fran Garcia for once isn't actually struggling, but he is on a yellow card, which is a concern. We'll get Kwanzaa on at centre back, and Martin's on at right back, and we're just going to have to change one midfield player, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll have to pick carefully here. Probably take Kone off for Ornelas. And again, Ornelas could potentially have some big shoes to fill if Kone does leave. He's not been too bad when he's come into the side, to be fair, on Alas, but I just don't think he's ready for that full commitment of playing week in, week out at the moment. But again, we'll have to keep tabs and see what happens. Loco here with the throw for Sevilla into Bueno. And now Aymar knocks it back to Ayesa, the goalkeeper, into Dragusin. Now Aymar. It's poor from him, and Stupar could be in here down this left-hand side. He plays it back to Fran Garcia. He's kind of taken the sting out of the move, unfortunately, but we do still have possession, and that's a lovely pass from Eamon Carey, and Cosmin Mania has finished it superbly. Again, I thought he may have been offside, but he's timed his run to perfection, it would appear. It's a hat-trick for the young Romanian, and like I say, if Chavlina does go, big shoes to fill, but that is a very good performance from him. I mean, offside wasn't given. I think he might have been even there, but 4-1, a very good job done today, and we've actually taken our chances. And the fact that our young centre forward has finally stepped up to the plate with a very good performance today. He's had some good performances, but this is by far his best. And he's finally got the goals to recognise that as well. Kwanzaa here into Eamon Carey. He's lost out very cheaply there, and now it's Bueno. Oh, it's a good effort. It's over the crossbar. He tried to do it all on his own. It would have been a consolation anyway for them, but that is a very good result from our point of view. And Cosmin Mania showing that he is more than capable of stepping into that striker role with a hat-trick today. We move up to 21st. 9th to 24th does go into a playoff. So if we can get a victory against Basel, who are actually below us at the moment, like I say, we lost to Zvezda. They haven't won a game since. And Bilbao was struggling as well. So potentially we have got an opportunity against a couple of these sides. It's just going to be a case of whether we can knuckle down and push through it. We're not going to get far in the Champions League, it has to be said. But there are opportunities should we progress. A 2.5 million windfall for just winning in that game. And Cosmin Mania showing his ability at last. So going ahead, Hoffenheim and Bilbao to come. I think that Bilbao game will be quite a big one, especially if we can beat Basel as well. So we'll go into those two games, and then obviously we've got a very busy January there. We've got likes of Manchester City and Tottenham. So 5 games to get through, Hoffenheim and Bilbao tomorrow. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.